just following up quickly on that, and markets FTSE's at a very near new high. If you suggest that these go on much further than you imagine, where do you think it's heading? Are we near the top, or is there a long way to go?
So here's how I would see. Actually, I think the most fascinating thing about the FTSE is not its level per se. If I had to have a guess, in 3 or 5 years, I think we'll be a little bit above where we are today. But here's where I see the opportunity. It's in the mix. And this is what really, it's always excited me about markets, but particularly excites me today looking ahead for the next 2 or 3 years. Because indices are a mix of, in the FTSE 100's case, by definition, 100 shares. And their influences, which of course depend on the size of the company and their importance in an index, have an overall impact on the index. What I find fascinating is looking for sub-themes underneath that. And what I'm seeing in the markets today are that for individual stock pickers or for theme investors, huge and wonderful opportunities within the markets, because you may get a flattish index possibly, but underneath that you'll have some things going up quite a lot and some things going down quite a lot. Now, we haven't had that for the last few years, really since 2009. Broadly speaking, to horribly simplify it, markets have kind of gone up, and any pullback has been an opportunity to add more exposure, to horribly simplify it. But when you think about that, this is why index funds have done well and individual stock pickers, on average, have struggled. And this whole debate of active versus passive, that market setup has favoured the passive investor. If there's anything I'm really excited about today, is that I see for the next 3 or 5 years the opportunities for the truly active investor to be again wonderfully brilliant, and that's because of the mix in equity indices. Now, has it been a complete wipeout for active investors? Actually, in my experience, it hasn't. I've certainly been able to find interesting things to do, but I guess again, if you talk about the average investor or the average active investor in the markets, they've struggled. But that in itself has created an anomaly which I think is very exploitable by all. So I'm really excited about the mix of markets, not just the UK. I could apply that comment to the whole of the rest of the world.
The FTSE 100 and the Dow keep breaching all-time highs. Where next?
So I think the reality is that markets are, in many global indices, kicking around all-time highs. And we've had a wonderful run since, broadly speaking, March 2009. So what's coming for the next 5, 6 years? I actually don't think indices are going to kick on that much more. I think you're looking 5 or 6 years' time and they won't be that much higher. I think they'll be a little bit higher, but not that much higher. Here's where the real area and opportunity to make money in. It's going to be in the mix of the index and the fact that there'll be individual shares, sectors and sub-themes which will do very well. And as a consequence, there'll be ones that do very badly as well. It's becoming a more mixed up, divisive, theme-driven world. This is why you need to think big picture and small picture. You need to look at some of the macro drivers and look at the individual company ones as well in order to get that sort of full and balanced investment approach. So this is strongly why I would not buy passive products, which is just going to track an index value up and down, and focus on active strategies, be it doing them individually or looking to find third-party managers to do that for you, which try and exploit that backdrop and situation.